Now you found Paul Daddy's BlindHawg Barbecue, and today we're trying out some Kosmos Q Wing Dust. Now, full disclosure, Kosmos Q sent me out some of these products to try. I've used a lot of their rubs in the past that I bought and paid for with my own money, so I know they make good quality products, and I'm excited to be trying out some of the stuff that's new to me. The plan is to use the honey barbecue wing dust on half of these chicken wings and lemon pepper wing dust on the other half. Now the instructions on the bottle says to cook the chicken naked, then add a small amount of the wing dust. A little bit goes a long way. So, per the instructions, no seasoning until we get to the end. Now the way I like to cook up my wings is to usually discard those wing tips, and then I separate the flats from the drummies. Now my trusty Dexter serrated knife works well here because you have to cut through a lot of those joints, and a serrated knife is just made to handle it. The wing tips, that's a part of the chicken that I'm not going to be eating, and a whole lot of them are covered up in those pin feathers, so they're definitely going to go in the garbage for me. And I got a little pro tip for you. Those discarded chicken parts, put them in a Ziploc bag, seal it up, put that in the garbage. That can help keep the flies down, and also your garbage is going to last a lot longer before it becomes unbearable. Now guys, don't get me wrong on this. If you prefer to cook the whole wing, then by all means do that. It's not right or wrong, it's just a personal preference. Depending on where you put them in your smoker, the flats will probably cook up a little bit quicker than the drummies. And after you dry them off with paper towels, then those flats go on a wire rack and the drummies will go on another wire rack. The wire racks just make it a little bit easier to deal with. Now, I know that they're just a little bit crowded on these racks, but it's a concession that I'm willing to make. It's not a deal breaker. All right, the smoking plan is to smoke them up for 2 hours between 200 and 225 degrees. And then we'll increase that pit temperature up between 300 and 350 degrees to finish them off. And we'll bring that internal temp up to at least 185 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'll start off by building a small fire in the Goldee's backyard cooker's firebox. Now we want an open flame fire. We don't want a smoldering fire. Once I'm confident that the fire is established enough to be maintained, then these wings are going into the smoker. All right, the racks that have the drummies, they're going on the side closest to the firebox. The flats, being a little bit thinner, they can't take as much heat, so they go on the other side closer to the smokestack. Now, you also probably noticed that the thin blue smoke has not been established. Now, this part will probably upset some of the barbecue people out there, but the truth is, a little bit of dirty smoke is not always a bad thing. I've seen many pit masters that are obsessive about having 100% clean smoke. Well, Johnny White, who's the front man for Goldee's Barbecue, which is the Texas Monthly #1 barbecue joint in the whole state of Texas, he's called out BS on this. You know, it seems that the wood burning efficiency of pellet smokers, that's the main reason that they generally don't match the offset smoker in the flavor department. So sometimes a little bit of smoke that's not so clean, it can add some flavor to your cook. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that you're going to make the whole cook with dirty smoke, but a little bit of smoke at startup, that can be okay. Especially if you don't close that stack damper down too much and trap that smoke inside. So if you have dirty white smoke, then let it flow through your pit. Don't retain it by choking down the stack damper too much. All right, another consideration about the white smoke, the dirty smoke, is that sometimes, a lot of times, mainly, that's steam. And it could actually be coming from your water pan. Now, if the water in your water pan is boiling, then it's definitely making steam. And today I'm using a very small water pan that came with this smoke. Now, the good news here is that cooking low and slow at 225 degrees or lower, once you get it going, those logs should last quite a while. They'll burn a long time. And it's a good idea to open it up after maybe you've been smoking for about an hour, see how you're progressing. And you may also want to flip those wings over at that time. And a good way to do this is to wear a pair of nitrile gloves over a pair of cotton gloves, then you can do it by hand. And I'll leave some Amazon links in the description area below if you're interested in seeing what kind of gloves I use. Now guys, this illustrates why it's a good idea to use wire racks in the first place, because you can move them out of the pit to do whatever you need to do. So Your hands and your eyes, they're out of the heat, they're out of the smoke. And when you get them flipped over, then they can go right back in the smoke. Now, as our cook is progressing along, if you notice that those drummies, which are closer to the fire, if they're starting to get darker than you like, then you can always swap the rack positions. Put the flats where the drummies are, the drummies where the flats are. But after we've gone about 2 hours in low and slow, then it's time to build up that fire so we can raise the temp between 300 and 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And we started out with dry wings because that's going to help to crisp up that skin. And also the fact that we started low and slow, that'll help make a different product than we just cooked them at 350 from the get-go. It makes a big difference. And you get the best of both worlds doing it this way. You'll have tender wings with crispy skin. Now the target temperature that we're after is 185 degrees minimum. We'll come up with crispy skin and with meat that'll come off the bone. And when that temperature gets in range, 185 and above, we're going to take off half of the wings off of each rack. And then I'm seasoning this first batch up with Kosmos Q Honey Barbecue Wing Dust. And the instructions say a little bit goes a long way, and that 6-ounce bottle will season more than 15 pounds of wings. So dust them down and give them a toss. Okay, I'm taking the wings that are left, and they'll get dusted down with Kosmos Q Lemon Pepper Wing Dust. Dust them down and give them a toss, just like we did the other. Now let's give them a taste test. And you can see those honey barbecue wings, they have almost a traditional glazed look. They taste right where you'd expect them to. It's barbecue flavored, got a little bit of sweetness. And man, that's a very good wing. And this would be suitable for a general audience, so it's not gonna be too spicy for people. So you could feed it to a group and don't have to worry about offending anybody. They're not too spicy and they're delicious. Now let me taste that lemon pepper wing. Oh yeah. Now that'll get your attention. It's got a bolder flavor. And I can see that maybe everybody wouldn't love it, but I certainly do. I think that lemon pepper wing dust could be layered with other rubs, and it shouldn't be just limited to cooking wings. It could be used on a lot of things. Okay, both these products are winners. Kosmos Q suggests they can be used on popcorn, peanuts, and even veggies. Now, I like both of these flavors, but next time, I'm gonna use a little bit more of them. Their caution on the label, it kind of had me just a little bit gun shy, so I didn't put quite as much as I could have. Now, I found out that Kosmos Q makes a 7-pepper facelift wing dust, and they've also got a kickin' Cajun wing dust. And I've got to try out both of these. They're supposed to light you up. Now, I'll drop some Amazon links in the description below for some of these Kosmos Q products that we've been using and the ones I talked about. Now, all you got to do is be sure and hit that like button on your way out. Please consider subscribing, and hope to see you next time at Paw Daddy's BlindHawg Barbecue.